And bam, bam, yes, we are here again. It is Thursday, March 23rd, the 2023 year of our Lord. We are here at the Made in Great Sports Network talking about the NBA again. Yes, the NBA again. Not this much to, not that there is too much to talk about. No, well, actually, there is. There was 10 games. And my co host, Erick James, is not here with me. So I am slaving over this hot microphone myself. Yes, I am. In beautiful Naples, Florida, where I got my tan on, as you can see, and I'm looking good. Showing my features. Today is my daughter Tiffany's birthday. Happy birthday, Tiffany. Even if you don't want me to call you and wish you a happy birthday, I'm wishing you a happy birthday through the osmosis. No, you're not 1 year older. You're actually a year more positive and beautiful and lovely. That's what we'll call it. So let's get on to this. The NBA. What do we got here with the NBA? NBA. What do we got? Let me see here. Denver. The Denver Nuggets. They traveled to Washington to play the Washington Wizards, and I'm just gonna leave this caption up there because that lets you know who won, and it was not the Wizards. It used to be called the Bullets, but then they deemed that was too violent, so they didn't want the team being called the Bullets because there was all kinds of bullets flying in Washington, and it wasn't the Washington basketball team. So, yes, I remember. That's right. I'm here to remind everybody all that little sensitivity there. It didn't stop anything that was happening in Washington. The bullets were still flying in Washington right now. That's a shame, but nobody talks about it. And since nobody talks about it, well, let's just move on. The Denver Nuggets traveled to Washington, D.C. to take on the Washington Wizards, and they beat them. Yes, they beat them by 14 points. All the way from Mountain Time with the Rockies, they traveled to Washington, D.C. and still beat up on the Washington Wizards. Why? Well, let's go over why with the Wizards. They were shorthanded Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma. That didn't help at all. One's a 20-point game scorer, 23 points a game. The other one, he gets about 17 to 18 points. They could have used that 35 to 40 points, and they lost by 14. Well, Corey Kispert, he started for them, and he gave them 9 points in 31 minutes. Denny Avdija. Yeah, Denny. Well, that's close enough. Let's just go with Denny. Denny also started, and he gave them 32 minutes for 16 points. Kristaps Porzingis. We might as well call him Kristaps Iron Man Porzingis because Kristaps has played, I think, most all of the games. Now, he's a guy who's had trouble most of his career staying healthy, but as Bradley Beal has gotten hurt and Kyle Kuzma has gotten hurt and everyone's gotten hurt, it's been Kristaps Porzingis that has galvanized this team and kept it together. He scored 25 points, and he did that in 22 minutes. Yeah, he only played 22 minutes, 11 for 17, 25 points. They felt like they had enough. They pulled him out the game, and that was that. Kristaps leads the team in steals, rebounds, blocks, and is tied with Bradley Beal with 23 points for points. I mean, what else should the guy do? Rebounds, steals, blocks, points. Number one, leads the whole team. Kristaps, you're getting the recognition here because you're not going to get it in the NBA and the major markets. They're not going to talk about Kristaps Porzingis leading the Washington Wizards, but you got it here, baby. All right. Daniel Gafford. Last time I saw Daniel Gafford, he was getting dunked on by somebody, and it looks like that might have happened last night too. He only had 6 points in 29 minutes. Not going to get it done. He is the weakest link. And Monty Morris. Monty played 25 minutes, gave him 8 points. They got 40 points from the bench. Well, gee whiz. They played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They played 9 players, got 40 points. Most notably, Jordan Goodwin gave him 12. He was a high scorer coming off the bench. Jordan Goodwin gave him 12. And that was that. Oh, I forgot. Let's go with Denver. What did Denver do? Well, Jokic got another triple. Did he get a triple double? He had 12 rebounds, only 7 assists, 31 points. Okay, so he missed the assist thing by 3, but he had 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists. Plus 28 in the plus minus column. He was backed up by Aaron Gordon, who only shot the ball 6 times, 4 for 6 for 12 points. Michael Porter, 7 for 16 for 21 points. Jamal Murray, 7 for 13, 17 points. And Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Yes, Kentavious was 2 for 9 for 6 points and was the weakest link. Well, there's always the next game, right? Something to hope for. Kentavious. I'm just not going to even go there, but 6 points in 29 minutes. Let's move on. We have the New York Knicks traveling to Miami. Always a good thing to do this time of year in March when it's snowing and sleeting and cold and raw in New England or the mid-Atlantic states such as New York. To go to Miami where it's nice and warm, 75 degrees, and there's palm trees, wind blowing, and just beautiful stuff everywhere. Sun, things of that sort. Well, they traveled to Miami and they lost. Now, the Knicks, last time we saw them, Julius Randle scored 57 points at home and lost because they're not a very good home team. No, New York, I think they're barely 500. Let me see what they are. 22 and 15 away, so they're much better when they're away, but they're not that great at home, okay? And so they had a better chance when they go away. They had a good chance of beating Miami, but that scooted down the rabbit hole. Let's start off with the Knicks. Julius Randle, he went from 57 points to 15. Talk about inconsistency. 25 would have helped this cause. Oh, because they lost 127 to 120. They lost by 7 points. So if he had got 25 points, they would have won. But he didn't. He got 15. 7 for 16. It's not like he shot the ball a lot. He only shot the ball 16 times. This is a guy who scored 57 points 2 nights ago. Now he's just shooting 16 times. Anyway, not much we can get from that. 15 points. Mitchell Randle, who doesn't shoot that much at all, was 4 for 4. He only shot the ball 4 times. Mitchell Robinson. Sorry about that. Mitchell Robinson. He's the center. Very sturdy, solid center. 4 for 4. Doesn't shoot the ball a lot. There had to be more shots for Julius than just 16 if Mitchell only shot it 4 times. But Mitchell gave you 10 points. Jalen Brunson, 10 for 16. Okay. Well, 25 points. R.J. Barrett, 8 for 13, 26 points. A quiet 26 points. And Quentin Grimes, 7 for 12, 22 points. You got to shoot that ball more than 16 times, Julius. You got to get something going. You're the team. I think he needs to be told that. There is no New York Knicks as we know it right now without Julius Randle. Whether they're winning and losing, Julius, you're going to have to take 20 shots a game, period, if you want your team to win. Not Jalen Brunson, not R.J. Barrett, not Mitchell Robinson, definitely not Mitchell Robinson. Obi Toppin, 1 for 5, okay? He's not going to get it done. He's coming off the bench these days. Julius, if you don't take the lead and act like a leader, let me stare into this thing because I keep looking into the wrong monitor here. Julius, if you don't take the lead and act like a leader, how's that? Take the lead and act like a leader. If you don't want that role, okay, you need to get off the team because right now the team is built around you, whether you know it or not. I'm just going to tell you the truth. The team is built around you to win, and you're going to have to take that step. You can't be that guy who just goes out there and shoots up the place for 57 points. You have to take the lead right from the beginning because your team is not doing very well when you don't. Case in point. So let's move on. They got 12 points off the bench from Josh Hart, and that's it. 4 plays played, 13 shots between all of them. Okay, I mean, they got 27 points total on 21 shots. Terrible. Nobody wanted to shoot off the bench. Did anybody want to play? I guess not. We have to remember Miami slows the ball down and everything, but Julius, you still have to take more shots. Okay. For Miami, Kevin Love, that big pickup that they made nice and cheaply, which is what Pat Riley and the Miami organization likes to do. I don't know why. It's not like they're paying everybody. But Kevin Love, he was 3 for 6 for 6 points right there. Okay. Then you had Jimmy Butler. He exploded for 35 points, but he only shot the ball 19 times, but he shot it more than Julius Randle. Bam Adebayo shot it 11 times for 15 points. Gabe Vincent shot it 12 times, 19 points. And Tyler Hero shot it 13 times for 22 points. No, there's not going to be a guy that is going to take the lead in Miami. They try to wear you down and beat you up and wear you down and clog everything up and hopefully get a win at the end. Ugly basketball. Here's to hoping they don't make the playoffs. Sorry, Miami. The city, not the team. Game number 3, we have the Pacers. They traveled to Toronto. That's right, Pacers. Indiana traveled to Toronto to take on the Raptors. And, you know, the Pacers should want to play Toronto all the time because if there's a team that's more inconsistent than the Pacers, it's Toronto. And, you know, I have some stats here. Let me just take a look at this thing here. What do we got for this? That's right. You got the Pacers. Actually, the Pacers have a worse record than Toronto, and they still went up there and beat them. You know why? Because Andrew Nebhard. You guys remember that name, Andrew Nebhard? He was the guy who shot the ball over LeBron back, I think, November 28th. No, eons ago. So we've gone through, we're halfway, almost through March. So that's February, January, December. And on November 28th, Andrew Nebhard in Indianapolis hit the game-winning three-pointer over LeBron James to propel the Indiana Pacers to a win. Now, since then, you haven't heard too much of him. Hasn't been too much to hear. He's been quiet. He's been practically invisible. And he's been starting most of the time, and he still hasn't put up any numbers to speak of. Well, Andrew is from Canada, from a little place called Aurora, which is about 50 miles outside of Toronto, where they played last night. And Andrew came home. He had to come home more often. As a matter of fact, maybe Toronto should look to get him in the package because I'm sure Indiana will give him up cheap. Okay. He scored 25 points. Yes, he did. On 11 for 17 shooting. He only missed 6 shots the whole game. Okay. 3 for 5 from three-point land, 25 points. Looked darn good, won the game. But let's start off with the Toronto Raptors. I want to start off with the losers first. Why? Because there's a reason why they lost. Pascal Siakam, 11 for 17, pretty darn good, 31 points. He went to the free throw line a lot, shot 11 free throws. I don't know what that's about. He's not that great. Anyway, but OG Anunoby. Yeah, OG Anunoby. Here's a guy who scores 20 points, and then sometimes will get you 5 points. Then sometimes will get you 22 points, and then another time will get you 6 points. Well, last night he got you 7. He played 37 minutes, was 2 for 13, and gave you 7 points. I would say he was the weakest link, but he wasn't. But we've come to expect more out of OG. And if he can't give you more than 7 points, he shouldn't be out there on the floor. Either he's hurt or he's unfocused. And that, Toronto, is why you lost. Fred VanVleet came through. He played 43 minutes. Woo, man. No, Jacob, you know what? Jakob Poeltl. That's right. I was calling him Jacob Poeltl. We're going to get his name right. We got his name right. It's Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl played that big pickup that they made from San Antonio that, that coach, what's that? Well, anyway, they got him. Well, he gave you 23 points. Jakob came through. 23 points on 10 for 12 shooting. 10 for 12. 10 for 12 shooting, everybody. 23 points. Then you had Shavano Hyde. Oh, no, wait a second. Let's just stick with the Toronto Raptors. I'm just moving along. Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet came and tried to say that 10 times. VanVleet. Okay, he played 43 minutes. Fred, you got to ask for a raise. That's too many minutes. There's only 48 minutes in the game. You played 43 of them. You were 7 for 22. Not that great, but listen, you got him 28 points. You fought. You gave him everything you had. Will Barton, 23 minutes, 2 for 8, 4 points. They got Chris Boucher coming off the bench. They gave him 11, and that was the name of the tune for the Toronto Raptors. Now, for the Indiana Pacers and the homecoming king, Andrew Nebhard. Well, Odile Brissett played 23 minutes, was 4 for 8, 9 points. Miles Turner, 6 for 9 in 29 minutes for 16 points. And then you had Andrew. Andrew came in there, played 35 minutes. He played the most of anybody on there. 11 for 17, 25 points. Shavano Hyde. Yes, Shavano did another Jekyll and Hyde. That's what we should call him, Jekyll and Hyde. Okay? Sometimes he's Dr. Jekyll. Sometimes he's Mr. Hyde. Which one's the good one? The good one's Jekyll. The bad one's Hyde. In this case, we have to change it. When Buddy Hyde plays good, we're going to call him Buddy Hyde. And when he plays bad, we're going to call him Shavano. So Shavano showed up yesterday. Yes, Shavano only shot the ball 8 times, 5 for 8, 13 points. 31 minutes, though. 31 minutes, 5 for 8. And then you have Benedict Mathurin, who said, you know what, if you don't want to, I really can't say he took control either. He only shot the ball 5 times for 15 points. Jordan Nwora came off the bench for 10 points. And TJ McConnell gave him 14. And that was that. Pacers won. Beat them. Did I ever tell you the score? Okay, the score was 118 to 114. 118 to 114. Now, that's something I'm supposed to tell you right from the beginning. But I wanted to keep you in suspense. So that's why I waited to the last minute to tell you. Okay, hopefully, whatever. Now, the Golden State Warriors, or Warriors as they are, because everyone's worried about the Golden State Warriors. Oh, what's happening with the Warriors? What's happening with the, poor. Yeah, whatever. Okay, they went to Dallas. They take on the Mavericks. And no Kyrie. Kyrie has a sore right foot, and he's, probably just questioning himself. How did he get in this situation? Well, Kyrie, things happen. But Kyrie didn't play. So Golden State went to Dallas, and it's crying time. Crying time for Mark Cuban. Because the Warriors beat them 127 to 125 in Dallas. That's right. Now, Golden State has won 2 games in a row on the road after losing 11 straight. So they snapped that. Now this is the second game that they've won on the road in a row. People think they're trending upward. Well, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but let's just get to the particulars. Dallas lost by 2 points. So let's start off with what happened to Dallas. Max Kleber, played 29 minutes and was the weakest link. He shot 1 for 3. Well, it's kind of hard to get a shot when Luka's on the floor, and Luka was on the floor for 4 points. Then you have Reggie Bullock. He was 5 for 8, 15 points. Dwight Powell, yeah, that prolific shooting center that they have there, he was 6 for 9 for 13 points. And then you had Luka Doncic. Yeah, Luka has no problem with shooting the ball, holding the ball, dribbling the ball. Just holding it. Luka only played 41 minutes. 41 minutes Luka Doncic played, was 11 for 27. 2 for 10 from the 3-point line. And they got you 30 points. Not good enough, Luka. Not good enough. And then you had Mr. Green. Mr. Green played 36 minutes, was 48 and 12 points. Christian Wood came off the bench and gave him 19. And, oh, my gosh. Oh, wait a second here. Jaden Hardy? Jaden Hardy came off the bench. They gave him 27 points. So they have a Jaden Hardy there. Marquise Morris. Marquise Morris did not play. He was a do-not-play coach's decision. Yeah, Jaden Hardy. Also, JaVale McGee did not play. Coach's decision, did not play. Neither did McKinley Wright. Not that it mattered much. I don't know if they could have helped him because Luka's not passing the ball to any of those guys unless he's, quadruple covered. Let's get on to the Golden State Warriors. And there was a Draymond Green sighting. Yes, Draymond Green broke out of his funk and actually scored in double figures. He was 6 for 10, 1 for 4 from the three-point line. He actually attempted 4 shots from the three-point line. And they leave him open there all the time. He could actually shoot about 10, 15, 20, 25 of those a game because nobody even goes out there to guard him. But he doesn't. He was only 1 for 4. 6 for 10, 1 for 4. 14 points. Okay? 14 points. Kevon Looney, 28 minutes, 4 for 5, 12 points. Then we have Mr. Steph Curry. Now, this is going to shock you. Steph Curry played 35 minutes, shot the ball 18 times, more than Julius Randle, and 9 for 18 for just 20 points, except he led everybody of the starters. He had a plus 10 in the plus minus column. Then you had Klay Thompson, who was the weakest link on the starters. Klay played 35 minutes, was 4 for 9. What is it? Nobody wants to shoot the ball. Only 9 shots, 1 for 4 from three-point line, 9 points. And Dante DiVincenzo, he was there. 24 minutes, 4 for 10 for 14 points. Okay. Jonathan Kuminga came in to save the day, obviously, from what I can tell here. He played 31 minutes, more than Draymond, more than Kevon Looney, more than Dante DiVincenzo. He played 31 minutes, was 9 for 11. You can't make 9 for 11. You got to have, if you have a guy like that on your team, you're going places. 9 for 11, 22 points. And then you had Jordan Poole, 26 minutes, 6 for 13 for 16 points. The bench gave him 57 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, 57 points. And that's how they won. There was a controversial play out there where Dallas thought they were getting the ball, and the referees gave the ball to Golden State. And Golden State, Dallas is down at the other end, waiting for the ball to be inbounded so they can bring the ball down. And the officials gave it to Golden State, and Golden State's guy saw that, and he ran back down. And when they gave the ball to Golden State, and they gave him the guy for a layup. Did that make sense there? Not make whatever like this. Mark Cuban is filing a protest with the league about that. So it's crying time for crying Cuban down there in Dallas. I don't know if that's going to overturn the game. More than likely wasn't. I don't understand how the officials did not alert the teams to who was getting the ball. Dallas seemed to have no clue, but maybe that's just the way they are. Okay. The Philadelphia 76ers traveled to Chicago to avenge a loss. Could they do it? Because Chicago beat them 2 or 3 days ago in Philadelphia. Yes, Chicago. The Bulls with Patrick Beverley. So now 76ers are going to Chicago. What's going to happen? I'll tell you what happened. 76ers beat the pants off them. 116-91, 116-91. Let me see. You know what? That's 25 points. And they did that 25 points going away. As a matter of fact, they were up by 28 at halftime. Philadelphia was. They didn't even, Joel Embiid didn't even play the second half. They sat him down. They said he had a right calf tightness or tightness in one of his calves. He played 16 minutes total. Joel Embiid played 16 minutes total, did not come out for the second half. And it didn't matter, okay, because they were playing the Bulls. And, the Bulls, they go on these things where they're telling everybody they're going to make a playoff run. We're going to make a playoff run. And then they go out and get Patrick Beverley and tell everybody this is what we're going to make our playoff run with. Patrick Beverley. Obviously, you're not serious. You don't care. And you think people are stupid. And for that, you deserve to lose the way you're losing. Let me see. Okay. The Bulls are 34-38. No, they should not make the playoffs. Gosh darn it, they better not. But they're in the 10th spot, so they'll be in a buy-in. Not that they care because they know they're not going to make it. I mean, even if they play in, they're not going to play in. They're just going to play out. As soon as that first game, they're out of it. Let's get on to it. For Chicago, Okay, Pat Williams. I don't know why they start this guy because this is what he gives you: 21 minutes, 7 points. DeMar DeRozan, they just sat him down and said, "Listen, this game's so out of hand. Forget about it." He was only out there. He was 0 for 7. I'm not kidding you. DeMar DeRozan was 0 for 7, 4 points. Nikola Vucevic, 25 minutes, 4 for 10, 8 points. Then you have Pat Beverly, the guy they're going to make that playoff run with. Yeah, well, Pat Beverly gave you 19 minutes, and he was 0 for 5. And he gave you 0 points. Now, we knew that Pat Beverly's not a prolific scorer. He's not even an average scorer. Most times, he barely gets over into the double figures, like maybe even 10 or 11. So you're not picking up Pat Beverly if you want to make a playoff push in Chicago. I'm just so disappointed with the information they put out, and they expect their fans. I feel so bad for Chicago fans. First it's the Bears, now it's the Bulls. I mean, Chicago teams do not seem to give a whit about winning. Making money, putting butts in the seats seems to be what it's all about. And, okay, that was it. George Niang came in and gave you 11 points off the bench. 8 players played off the bench, total of 33 points. And that was the name of the, gosh, guys, I'm looking at the wrong totals. Okay, 59 points off the bench for the Chicago Bulls. You have Mr. Derek James gave you 10. Andre Drummond came in and gave you 13. Kobe White gave you 19. And Ayo Dosunmu came in and gave you 14. 59 points, but it was not enough because they were getting blown out. 1, 2, 3, 7 plays played to give you that. Now let's go to the Philadelphia 76ers. They didn't have to play that much. Leon, the one they call PJ Tucker, oh man, he had 5 points. 24 minutes, 5 points. That's top for him. And he did that in 24 minutes. Usually he takes like 40 minutes to get 5 points. So he was on his game yesterday. Tobias Harris, 34 minutes. He was a plus 40 in the plus minus column, the highest on the 76ers. Tobias Harris had a plus 40, and he gave you 20 points. Joel Embiid, 5 for 7, 12 points in 16 minutes. Tyrese Maxey, 38 minutes. Well, they should. He's only like 15 years old, the youngest kid on the team probably. 38, 8 for 19, 21 points. And DeAnthony Melton played 33 minutes, 8 for 16, and he gave you 25 points. Shake Milton gave you 5. George Niang gave you 11, and 33 points from the bench. I really like that Shake Milton. I think the Celtics should grab him because they need somebody with some athleticism and drive, something they don't have on that team right now. The Rockets. The Rockets traveled to the Grizzlies. Now, the Rockets are the worst team in the Western Conference. Make no mistake about it. They're the worst team. And, yeah, well, they've won 18 games out of 73. They won 18 games out of 73, so they're the worst team. And, again, they lost. Now, the Rockets traveled to Memphis. The Memphis were without – oh, wait a second. There was a John Morant sighting. Yes, John Morant was there. As a matter of fact, he came off the bench, and he was wearing a mask. So many people didn't know it was John Morant because it was this guy coming off the bench with a mask. Usually John Morant starts, and he doesn't have a mask. So he was able to go out there and get 17 points, okay? Yes, he scored 17 points, and that was that, okay? Why was he wearing the mask? Was he trying to hide? Is it for this anxiety he claims to have? Anxiety issues? Well, maybe it was that, but actually they say it's because he has a broken nose, a broken nasal cavity. They used to call those broken noses back when I was a kid. But we have to elongate these words and make it sound more outstanding than what it is. He got elbow hitting the nose, and there you go. Okay, let's start with the losers. The Houston Rockets. Jabari Smith gave you 31 minutes, 16 points. Kenyon Martin Jr., who got dunked on by John Morant, 39 minutes for 31 points. Alperen Sengun, 32 minutes, 25 points. Let me read it over here, so it looks like I'm not looking down. Kevin Porter, 34 minutes, 6 for 14, 14 points. And Jalen Green, he didn't shoot the lights out. He only shot the ball 18 times. and he gave you 32 points. And he was a minus in the plus minus column while he was out there. And actually, Alperen Sengun gave you the best plus minus. When he was out there, you had a +5. Better than the rest of the team. And let's get to the Memphis Grizzlies. For the Memphis Grizzlies, you had Jaren Jackson, who lit it up. 37 points in 35 minutes on 14 for 20 shooting. Xavier Tillman, he played 19 minutes. He was the weakest link, gave you 4 points. But what the heck, you can live with that. Then you had David Roddy. David Roddy played 25 minutes, gave you 13 points. Tyus Jones played 27 minutes, gave you 14. And Desmond Bain played 35 minutes and gave you 20. And I guess Mr. Dillon Brooks did not play because he was suspended. Yes, suspended by the league as well. He should be. They have to make a decision on what they want to do there. Ja Morant came off the bench for that 17. And the bench scored 42 points. Okay. Hopefully, Ja Morant, they rushed him back as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if he played the rest of the league. Get the kid away from the NBA. Still paying him. Get him away from the NBA. You're not going to go anywhere this year. You're too discombobulated. You're not going to get it done. Get the kid away from the NBA. Let him spend 3 months in Montenegro. Okay? Where he knows nobody. As a matter of fact, don't even tell anybody he's there. Okay? Just let him get away from all these people and this craziness and play classical music. Let him calm down. Let him find himself before he comes back and has to deal with this crazy nonsense again. Well, at least it was a Ja Morant sighting, and it wasn't in a strip club, which nobody else in the media has brought up. What the heck is he doing at a strip club? I mean, it's supposed to be okay for black people. But let's just break it down. Does anything good ever happen in the strip club? No, never. Nothing good. In other words, stay away. And it shouldn't be categorized in this color thing and color scheme that it's okay. It's not okay, obviously. So if you're black, stay away from the freaking strip clubs, especially if you're an athlete. If you're an athlete, nothing good happens in the strip club. And don't listen to them tell you that it's okay because you're black. It's okay. It's bull crap. Guaranteed to get you in trouble and put you on the wrong path. Stay away. Stay far away. Let whoever, has nothing going on in life go to a strip club. And that would be a lot of the people that you know, Ja. But leave them right there. You leave them right there. You stay away. Something that has to be done. When you are in when you're the president of IBM, you don't hang out with your friends and go to strip clubs like they do. You might know some friends that went to go to strip clubs, but you're not going there. If you're the president of a nice corporation, a big corporation, you're not wasting your time in the strip club. That's for people not going anywhere in life. Hello? Does anybody want to say this? So stay out of strip clubs if you want to do something with your life. Let's move on. The Spurs. San Antonio Spurs. Yep, that team. The second worst team in the Western Conference. First, we just had the Houston Rockets. Now this is the second worst team. Popovich is out there. Yeah, that's the name. That Hall of Fame coach Greg Popovich. I got no sacred cows. If Greg Popovich is stinking up the joint, I'm going to say it. If black people need to stay out of strip clubs, I'm saying it. Save your money, okay? And you won't have to spend any money on getting rid of any diseases that you found up in there also, okay? But yeah, Mr. Popovich has the second worst, Mr. Hall of Fame coach, second worst record in the league. And yes, they lost again because the Milwaukee Bucks traveled to San Antonio. No, actually, the San Antonio Spurs traveled to Milwaukee, and everybody knew this was going to be a loss. Should I even go through this? I'm just going to go through it very quickly, okay? San Antonio went to Milwaukee and got spanked. 130 to 94. 130 to 94. Milwaukee Bucks beat them by 36 points. 36 points. And, okay, let's just get to the losers. Zach Collins. I'm not even going to pronounce it. Mr. Collins, 5 for 9, 12 points. Mr. Shochan, I know it's Jeremy Shochan, 6 for 14, 13 points. Kiana beats Diop, 4 for 9, okay, for 14 points. Let's bring it up here. Mr. Vassell, 5 for 16, 16 points. And Malachi Branham, that's right, okay, 4 points in 25 minutes. Not that it matters much because it didn't matter. Then they had Mr. Mamakila coming off the bench. He gave him 12 points, 35 points on the bench, and that's all that you need to know from San Antonio. Because, really, I mean, what are we going to tell you? Basically didn't show up. They even got beat in the fourth quarter when the team that's killing you is giving up. That's right. Usually when the team is killing you, they kind of just like throwing all the subs, which they did off the bench, and just whatever. Let you make a little comeback. But no, Milwaukee beat them in the fourth quarter. They outscored them 30-22. So there's just no hope for San Antonio with their Hall of Fame coach, Greg Popovich, who's escaping all of the notoriety of being the coach of such a bad team. Let's move on to the Milwaukee Bucks, and we're going to make this real quick. Giannis Antetokounmpo only played 24 minutes, but he scored 31 points. Chris Middleton is back. He played 29 minutes, got 19 points. Brook Lopez, 25 minutes, 11 points. Jrue Holiday, 25 minutes, 7 points. He didn't even feel like shooting the ball. He shot the ball 7 times. And Grayson Allen only shot the ball 5 times. Now, Grayson, I hate to tell you this, but everyone else gets the night off but you. You know why? Because you are the weakest link. So when everyone else wants to take the night off, you should be jacking balls up as if you're never going to see another ball again. But you only shot the ball 5 times. I don't know how long you're going to be for that spot because you are not fulfilling your duty as that 5th spot guy. You're not getting it done. And you're taking it easy. You've gotten lazy. Okay? You got comfortable. You're on a winning team here with the Bucks. You're in a winning situation, and you've gotten comfortable. And it's going to cost you, Grayson, unless you turn this around. Start showing some hunger that you want to play. Sure, okay? But these guys, you played – how do you only play 19 minutes, Grayson? Okay? You should be playing less minutes than Giannis. He played 24. You played the less minutes of all the starters. You, Grayson Allen, a guy who contributes less. You're only a +7. Well, anyway, 8 points. Anyway, 7 bench players came off the bench to play for Milwaukee because it was a laugher. Okay? It was a laugher by halftime. And they didn't have to think about it too much. But only, there was actually 8 players on the bench, but they played 7 because only Thanasis Antetokounmpo didn't play. But then again, Thanasis is only getting paid $1.9 million. I mean, his brother Giannis is getting $42.5 million. It's an insult. No wonder Thanasis is not, I'm sure the coach looked down there and locked eyes on Thanasis. Thanasis just turned his head away. Said, no, don't even put me in because you're only paying me 1.8 and you're paying my brother 42.5, and I don't want to be talked about at the dinner table. As a matter of fact, you're not paying me to play. You're paying me to keep my brother company, and I can do that sitting on the bench. 130-94. The Hawks traveled to Minneapolis, Minnesota, to take on the Timberwolves. The Atlanta Hawks did, and they lost 125-124, 125-124. I don't know what to say for the Hawks. This is just so disappointing. John Collins, 16 points. Here's the guy who should be getting 20 a night, not doing it. DeAndre Hunter, winning 7 for 12, 16 points. Clint Capella, 5 for 6, because he does mostly alley-oops and putbacks. 11 points. Trae Young, 6 for 16, is not going to get it done. Trae, you're going to have to shoot the ball 20 times, okay? 6 for 16, 3 from three-point land. And surprisingly, he shot 16 free throws. I don't know how they're awarding him. I guess he just flopped. He's so thin. He's like a will-o-wisp. He just looks like he's getting hit all the time or jumping into people. And here's where they made the mistake. Bogdanovich. I love Bogdan, but not as a starter. He doesn't produce as a starter. He only had 11 points. 5 for 11 points. When he comes off the bench, he gets you 20. But we're talking about Atlanta here. Anyway, they got Onyeka Okongwu, who gave him 14 off the bench, and Sadiq Bey gave him 16 off the bench. And that was that. For Minnesota, there was a Karl Anthony Towns sighting. Karl Anthony Towns, who hasn't played since Well, gee whiz. Wow. I think it's like January. Yeah. It's been gone a long time. He's back. And he played. And he gave him 22 points. 22 points on 8 for 18 shooting. He didn't stop from jacking that ball up. Okay. Then you had Jalen McDaniels. Played 36 minutes, 25 points. Kyle Anderson, 36 minutes, 9 points. That's the weakest link right there. Rudy Odberg. Yep, Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert. You know, you got to put that G in there. I could slap myself if I had a free hand. See, I got papers in this hand and this hand, so I'm not going to slap myself, but I could. Okay. Rudy Gobert played 33 minutes, gave you 12 points. I don't know, Rudy. He only shot the ball 8 times, though. You got to remember that. He only shot the ball 8 times. Then you had Karl Anthony Towns. 26 minutes. In 26 minutes, he shot the ball 18 times. I guess this is like practice to him. And he got 22 points. He was 8 for 18. And Mike Conley was 4 for 11 for 13 points. They got Taurean Prince. Taurean, who killed it the other day, coming off the bench. I think Taurean's a starter. He's more of a starter. You're going to have to, these other guys are going to have to find the bench. You're going to have to play Taurean. He's a starter. Coming off the bench, he played 21 minutes only for 15 points. I think he had 35 the other night. And then you had Nazir Reed, 26 minutes for 26 points. And that's Minnesota. Minnesota is a bit dysfunctional. If Anthony Edwards is not starting, put Taurean Prince in there. He's going to get you 20 to 25 each night. We have the Trailblazers traveling to New Orleans to take on the Jazz. Now, Jeremy Grant didn't play. Anthony Simons didn't play. But the Trailblazers still walked in to the Jazz. Are we serious? The Utah Jazz, yeah. Still walked into the Jazz and beat them. Jordan Clarkson wasn't playing. Colin Sexton wasn't playing. And Lauri Markkanen was not supposed to play. Kelly Olynyk led for the Jazz with, no, he didn't. Well, let's just say Kelly Olynyk was out there on the floor. Played 31 minutes. Shot the ball 8 times for 12 points. Lauri Markkanen, who wasn't supposed to play because he has a bad back, Lauri Markkanen showed up and carried this team, well, as far as they were going to go. He shot the ball 23 times, 14 for 23, 40 points. Wasn't supposed to play, but he pushed himself out there. Walker Kessler, 4 for 6 for 8 points. Taylor Horton Tucker. This sounds like a Dr. Seuss story. Taylor Horton Tucker played 25 minutes, 4 for 9, 11 points. And Ochai Agbaji, 32 minutes, 7 points. They got Mr. Dunn, Chris Dunn, the story I talked about last week, horrific challenge story, gave him 15 points off the bench, 15 of 37 points off the bench for them. 8 players played, and there was even a Rudy Guy sighting. Yeah, Rudy Guy was out there playing. Rudy Guy played 10 minutes, gave him 7 points. And the Portland Trailblazers. Well, Jeremy Grant wasn't playing. Anthony Simons wasn't playing. But Trendon Watford. Trendon Watford came out there and gave him 21 points on 9 for 16 shooting. Not bad. Okay. Jusuf Nurkic, 7 for 12 for 20. Damian Lillard, 8 for 19 for 30. Matisse Thybulle, 2 for 5 for 6. And Shaedon Sharpe with Anthony Simons out. Shaedon Sharpe jumped in there. You're going to love this. Shaedon, this is what you should be doing. Shaedon was 9 for 19. 9 for 19. Gave him 24 points. They got 10 points off the bench for Kevin Knox and 11 points for Cam Reddish. That was like a New York reunion. Both of those two players used to play for the New York Knicks. And they now play for the Portland Trailblazers. Happy trails with the Trailblazers, but I don't think they're going too far. Let me see. Nope. They're in 13th place in they're right above the Spurs and the Rockets. They've won a lot more games than them, but yeah, they're not going far. And in the last game of the night, we have the Los Angeles Fakers, once again on television, as usual, playing, okay? And even on ESPN, this was the title of the game. Well, Suns are frustrated by the free throw disparity. Welcome to the world of the real. Every team that plays the Los Angeles Lakers ends up with a free throw disparity. It's just magically. Magically, somehow this happens. Nobody knows how it happens. Even with LeBron James not on the floor, the Los Angeles Lakers seem to be able to draw fouls. Lots of them. Because the free throw disparity was 46-20. 46-20. 26 more free throws attempts for 46. That's almost 50 times. They almost shot the ball 50 times for the free throws. I mean, from the foul line. Does anybody see anything? Now, you're going to have these people, and I call it hood mentality. Sort of like Javonte Davis, and getting pissed off because Ryan Garcia is holding him accountable for putting in the contract this rehydration clause that he couldn't rehydrate no more than 5 or 10 pounds or something like that, maybe even less. Okay, and he had to weigh in at this certain time and da 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 da. They never get enough. Lying, cheating, and stealing. This hood mentality, always getting something over on someone, and then laughing about it, thinking it's the thing to do. Because this is what happens when you're on the dole. You're so used to taking and never giving. Nothing. You don't want anything fair. You don't want it fair. And that would apply to Los Angeles. Now, you would think more people would complain about it, but no. As you know, the media is silent. They can't complain. They better do what they're told. Well, ain't I the media? But I'm not silent about it. Matter of fact, and I probably would be fired like Jason Whitlock was had I ever been part of the mainstream media, because I'm not going to toe the line. I'm going to say it's March 23rd in the year 2023 of our Lord. Whoops. Wow. Can't say that. I just said it. That's right. I just said it. But you can't say that. And you can't say that, they just make a debacle. The NBA does. You're not supposed to notice guys getting fouls who really aren't getting fouled, but they get fouls called for them all the time. You can't say that. And you're supposed to be quiet, if they're a certain color, race, whatever that may be. Why? I don't know. Now, it's called hood mentality. I'm just going to call it out. I'm going to throw it right there. And I'm just going to let it percolate and just simmer. It's wrong. It's wrong. Everyone should complain about the preferential treatment that Los Angeles gets. In addition to behaving as if they're playing away games when they're actually playing at their home games, because they're just playing in the same Staples Center with the Clippers when they play them 4, 6, 8 times a year and get away with that. Playing that they're away games. No, they're not. They're at home, So back-to-back games, really, when you don't leave the city. That's really back-to-back. Usually most teams have to do a back-to-back where they're leaving the city. Not the Lakers. A lot of the Lakers back-to-backs are in Los Angeles. Yeah. Get away with it too. Nobody calls it out. It's wrong. But let's get back to the game. The Lakers won 122-111 over the Suns, 122-111 over the Phoenix Suns. Yes, Phoenix traveled to LA, and they sent LA to the line a lot more than Phoenix. Well, let's just start off with the Suns since they are the losers. There was no Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was out injured. They put Torrey Craig out there. He gave him 14. Josh Okogie played 20 minutes, gave him 5. He was the weakest link. And he was, not by much, though, because there was a Bismack Biyombo sighting, because DeAndre Ayton was out with a hip injury, just like Kevin Durant's out with an ankle injury. So Bismack was pushed into service, and he gave him 6 points. That's right, 6 points. Chris Paul was out there, still the same Chris Paul. He was 8 for 17, didn't have a very good day or night or evening or game. 8 for 16, minus 16 in the plus-minus column. That was the worst of them all, okay, because Torrey Craig was a minus 10. Josh Okogie was a minus 3. Bismack Biyombo was a minus 13. And Chris Paul was a minus 16. Wasn't much defense getting played when he was out there. Devin Booker. Well, Devin played his heart out, and this is you know what? This guy's maturing. He played 41 minutes, only shot the ball 16 times. He was the only guy with a, I wouldn't say a negative. He did without a negative in the plus minus. He had a 0. Scored 33 points. 33 points. Okay. Landry Shamet came off the bench and gave him 15. The bench gave him 35. Landry gave him 15 of that 35. And for the Lakers, Anthony Davis played 38 minutes, was 10 for 18, 7 for 10 from the free throw line, 27 points. Okay. Mr. Vanderbilt, Jared Vanderbilt, played 26 minutes. Mr. Vanderbilt went to the line and shot 3 free throws. Troy Brown Jr. had 6 points. Okay, shot free throws. D'Angelo Russell played 34 minutes, had 26 points, shot 7 free throws. And then, you gotta love this. Now, there were a lot of people crucifying Austin Reeves, calling him the weakest link on this team. White guy, not giving him any respect. Austin Reeves played. He played 39 minutes with 6 for 10 and 12 for 13 from the free throw line. So he shot 13 free throws, 25 points. I bet they are reassessing themselves now that they helped him to a win. Guess he's not a bad guy now, Los Angeles Laker fans. And then we have 25 points from the bench, most notably 13 from Dennis Schroeder. Now let's get to the Western Conference. Oh, wow, man. You know what? I talk entirely too much. Let's wrap this up because it's been 52 minutes of me running my mouth. How you like that? Because I can just kept this going. It sounds like there's somebody out there mowing. So maybe that's interfering with my concentration. No, it's not. Okay. In the number 1 spot, the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets are 5-5. Number 1, Memphis Grizzlies. They are in the number 2 spot. What I meant was 5-5 was their 5 wins and 5 losses in the last 10. Memphis Grizzlies, number 2 spot, 7-3 in the last 10. Sacramento Kings. Everyone thought they were coming on like gangbusters. Well, they just became a bunch of dud firecrackers once again. They're in the 3rd spot, 6-4 in the last 10. So they're not gaining any ground on nobody. No time, fast. And Phoenix Suns, just when you thought they were just going to come on, Kevin Durant messes up his ankle. I don't know if it's a high sprain, low sprain, middle sprain, but he hasn't played in like 6 games. And in those 6 games, but they're not doing too well. They're 5-5. The Phoenix Suns. LA Clippers. Well, Paul George is hurt. Yes, Paul George is hurt. So that doesn't bode well for the Clippers. They are 5-5 in the last 10 games. Then we have the Golden State Warriors. Golden State, everybody's worrying about what's happening with the Warriors. I'll tell you what's happening with the Warriors. They're 4-10 in the last 4-6 in the last 10 games. They're in 6th place. Then the Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder. Now the Oklahoma City, surprising. These guys are playing. They're trying. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. OKC is. So they're really putting it out there while the rest of the teams are just happy to be there. OKC is putting forth the effort. Then we have the Dallas Mavericks in the 9th spot and the Los Angeles Lakers in the 10th spot. Dallas Mavericks are 4-6 in the last 10 games, and the Lakers are 6-4. Rounding it out, the last 5 teams in the Western Conference, you have the Utah Jazz, New Orleans Pelicans. Wow. Zion Williamson's been gone a long time. I think since January 2nd. Zion Williamson has been gone since January 2nd, and they're just doing terrible. Portland Trail Blazers, San Antonio Spurs, and the Houston Rockets. Now, 9-10. Dallas Mavericks, Los Angeles Lakers. OKC has a tough schedule. I mean, yeah, they're there, but they shouldn't worry too much. They're in the 8th spot. Dallas Maverick has an okay schedule. Not too bad. New Orleans has a terrible. I mean, they have a bad. I mean, they're going to play, well, after the Hornets, they play the Clippers. Looks like they played the Trailblazers, so that's not too bad. The Warriors, Denver, they're not going to win that one. They're going to lose against the Clippers. Okay, so they're going to lose against the Warriors, the Clippers, Denver. They're going to lose against the Kings. They're going to play them. Lose against another team. They're going to lose against the Knicks. Looks to me like they're not going to make it. Okay, nothing. You have to worry about New Orleans making that one. Utah, Nah, they're not getting close. They're going to stay below the Lakers. The Lakers' schedule is not that bad. Okay, then looks like they're going to make it in there, and that's going to do it for the Western Conference. So, what's going to be the buy-in? The buy-in is going to be looks like the Mavericks and the Lakers. Utah Jazz are tied at 11, and New Orleans Pelicans are tied with them at 12. But my money, I don't bet any money on this. Okay, forget about it. You know I'm not betting the money on games, and I encourage all of you not to. So I guess I'm discouraging you to bet on games. Don't bet on basketball games. Don't bet on football games. Keep your money, and keep your money. Stay out of strip clubs also. Okay, so leave these vices alone. Don't let them culturally place you into a situation based upon so-called culture that this is okay for you because of culture, whether it's gambling or whether it's strip clubs. Stay away. Save your money. Save your time. Save your energy. Okay? So I don't bet on games. And that's the name of that too. So what is my part in shot here? What is the word of today? You know what? I started this thing of what's the word of the day? I'll tell you what the word of the day is. And I'll give you my take on the word of the day. From Merriam-Webster, the word of the day is symbiosis. Symbiosis. It refers to the relationship between two different kinds of living things, like me and my wife. We have a symbiosis. Hi, wife. How you doing? My wife, Yukiko Oyama Mars, and we are in a symbiosis. That would explain my relationship between two living things. That being said, listen, I also have a symbiosis with you because you are listening to this podcast. That being said, from Algeria to Zimbabwe and all the countries in between, I bid you adieu, au revoir, arrivederci, vaya con Dios, and goodbye, everybody. This is Clay Mars for the Amazing Grace Sports Network, signing off. Next time you see me, I should be with a partner. I think his name is Erick James. I haven't seen him in a week. I haven't talked to him. I might forget his name if he doesn't show up soon. I might just put a little doll here, and I'll just name him Erick, and I'll just talk to it. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good day. Have a good day. A good Thursday. I am hungry. It is time to get something to eat. You guys celebrate. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Goodbye. Ciao. Let's put on some music here. Have some going away music. How you like that? Goodbye.